If you've got a projector ram, chances are you've been seeing the posts online about people throwing LED bulbs in and getting a little bit brighter light output, or maybe they're having terrible trouble with the strobing and flickering. In this video, I'm going to show you guys what works the best in this thing, and more importantly, how you can double your light output from stock. So let's get started. So we got our truck pulled in the shop now, and the first step in removing the headlights from this vehicle is actually removing this cover here from the top of the grill. So using a pry tool, honestly, you can use just about anything to get this thing up. There's a handful of plastic clips holding it down. Get under it like so, and just lever up, and just work your way across. There are only 4 of them holding it on, but this one happens to be a heavy-duty ram. This one's a 3500. If you're doing this on a half-ton with the projector headlights, you're going to find that there are just a few more plastic clips to remove across the top. The process is the exact same. The clips all released. Just go ahead and set this thing off to the side. We won't need it for a while. And coming back, we've got 4 10mm bolts to remove from this grill, from left to right. The outer 2 thread into plastic. They've got a pretty coarse thread on them, so that's how you can tell it apart from the one in the middle. Be sure to put these back in the same spot they came out of, because the 2 in the middle, as you can see, have a more fine metal thread. Now, if your truck hasn't been apart before, if you've never changed a headlight bulb on it before, when it comes time to pull the grill off, it can be a little bit tight. There's just plastic clips holding it together now. What I do is I grab this large bar in the middle and I just pull it toward me, and if you give it a little pop, it should just release just fine. Just like that. Now there's one thing we need to do in the wheel well of the truck to get these headlights to release properly. So grab your pry tool. So from down in the wheel well now, you're going to find a little trap door here, and there's a little lever here, and if you just pop it out with a pry tool, it comes right out. Honestly, you can probably use your finger to do it. It doesn't take any real effort. Now, out of this whole process, this is the trickiest part, just because you don't exactly know what you're looking for. The truth is, there's a little lever in here, and it's a piece of thin plastic, and what you need to do is push up on it. And you'll know it when you feel it. You can't quite see it, but when you push up on it, it'll click, and the headlight will come out. We're in the home stretch now. We've just about got these headlights out. There are only 2 bolts holding us back. There's one up top right here, one down low here. You can use a ratchet to get these out. You could probably use a wrench. I've got an impact. I'm going to be using that. All right, and if you've done these steps in this order, you should now be able to pull the headlight toward you and release it from the vehicle. One thing I've noticed on these vehicles is it sometimes helps to pull it this way just a little bit, and you'll hear it kind of click, and then out toward the front, just like that. Helps to release it. I don't know why it works, but it does. There's one connector on this headlight, and its release tab is right on the bottom, and if you take a flat screwdriver and just put it in there, you can pry out on it and pull away the connector at the same time. Works really well. That's all you need to do to remove the headlight from a Dodge Ram. So now that we got the headlight out, I can actually show you guys that tab that we reached in from the wheel well to get to. This is what it looks like. This is what your fingers will be feeling in there when you reach in there. And this is in the locked position. Now, by pushing up, you'll hear it click. We've got this wider square here. The headlight can be removed from the vehicle. When you put the headlight back in the vehicle, it's going to click into this slot. You're going to need to reach in from the wheel well and pull down to lock it in place. So we've got our headlight out. I put a cloth down here just to prevent the lens from being scratched at all. We don't want to come this far and do any damage. Take an 8mm socket and work your way around this cover here. There are 5 total bolts. With the bolts removed, the cover should pop right off, and that'll show you exactly what you're working with on the inside of your headlight. So starting with your low beam, unclip your wire harness, set off to the side, twist your bulb counterclockwise and remove it from the headlight. It's always a good idea to hang on to your stock bulbs just in case you want to go back to stock in the future, maybe trade the truck in, maybe you upgrade. whatever you end up doing, it's always good to have backups. And these are the Supernova V4 bulbs that we're going to be installing today. On my left, I've got the Supernova V4. On my right, I've got the stock halogen bulb. And I'm just going to say this, in a projector RAM, projector anything really, any projector equipped vehicle, it is tough to find a set of LED bulbs that perform well. And these really knock it out of the park in these RAMs. So twist it clockwise to lock it in place. And then one more piece of the puzzle for the low beam. We've got a PWM module that needs to be installed. These RAMs are really tricky with their CAN bus systems. We've been working on them for almost at least 10 years straight as a company. And this combination of equipment works perfect. You won't get flickering, strobing, CAN bus warnings, anything like that. If you do exactly what I show you, you're not going to have any trouble. This plugs in like so. Now we've got everything plugged in for the low beam, the Supernova V4, the driver, and the PWM module. I'm not going to tuck that stuff into the headlight just yet because I still want to upgrade the high beam, and putting this in my way isn't going to help me at all. So if you reach in here, you'll see the little retainer for the wire harness. Unclip it just like you did the low beam, put it off to the side, grab the high beam bulb, twist it counterclockwise, and it pops out just like so. Now this is a tight area for an LED bulb, and if you've been in the market for a little while and you've seen a few options on the internet, you'll know that a lot of these things are absolutely massive. They've got huge fans. You know, the Supernova V4 has a fan. It's still a pretty small bulb, and even that doesn't fit the high beam on these trucks. So for the high beam of this RAM, we're going to be using the Perfect Fit bulb from Supernova. And if you compare it side by side to the original headlight bulb, you'll see why they call it the Perfect Fit bulb. It is almost the exact same size. It's passively cooled, no fans. Plug it in and install it into the headlight. Locks into place real nicely. Now, with that installed, we can go ahead and tuck our driver and PWM module into the headlight. Helps if you stand it up on its bottom end here, and just try to tuck the driver into the bottom part of the headlight itself. So driver and PWM module, if you tuck them down low, everything seems to fit just fine. All right, it gets a little tight in there, but as you can see, it does fit. Now, do not forget to plug your low beam back into the stock harness. If you do that, obviously you're gonna have to go back through and redo all of this. Depending on how your headlight's aimed right now, your V4 fan might touch this original dust cover here. And we haven't really found it to be a problem. Honestly, the headlights still aim fine, they still look great, and the fan cools just fine no matter what. That being said, we do have these optional dust covers that offer a little bit more clearance. They come with grommets to seal off these holes. They're pre-drilled. They're actually for our HID kit that we offer for this same truck. But as you can see, this back section is just a little bit deeper, and it offers just a little bit more room. So if you just can't get it on there no matter what you try, by all means, this is a good option for you. You can swap the gasket from left to right, and away you go. So with everything installed in the headlight, I'm going to put this cover back on. I'm going to run through the passenger side, do the exact same thing. And we're going to pull this thing over to the studio and compare it to the stock headlights and see just what kind of an upgrade the Supernova V4s and the Perfect Fit bulbs are going to be for your RAM. So we've got our truck pulled over to the studio now, and we've got our projector headlights aimed at the wall. And we came out with about 460 lux. That's not super bright, to be honest. That's almost in fog light territory as far as brightness goes. Let's see what the Supernova V4 and the low beam looks like. Now the V4s came in at 910 maximum lux. Lux is your usable light output firing down the road, showing you whatever you need to see. Potholes, maybe sticks, maybe people crossing the street. Lux is the best indicator of how a light performs. And 910 compared to 460, we're just about twice as bright. It's really not a bad option. Let's check out high beam and just see how that performs. So as you can see, our high beam here came in with some nice clean hot spots with the stock beam pattern, and that's what we're going to try to preserve with our LED kit. The high beam came in at 780 maximum lux. Let's take a look at the Perfect Fit high beams and see how they do. So now we've got our perfect fit high beam turned on, and as you can see, this thing is way brighter. This came out at 1,490 maximum lux. Compared to 780 that the stock headlights gave us, that's quite an improvement. We've doubled our high beam, we've doubled our low beam. I'd call today a good day. As you can see, those LEDs are not only an easy upgrade to do, they're a tremendous light output increase. Now, if you need anything else for the rear of your Ram, reverse lights, we've got the world's brightest reverse lights, license plate lights, cargo lights, you name it, we've got you taken care of. Visit headlightrevolution.com. Thanks for watching.